Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Coxie1979, old school gamer, and this is part 3 in our Unity 5 first person shooter tutorial series. In part 2 we put down some trees and grass, we put down some water, which I've gone and fixed up a little bit. I didn't spend too much time on it. All I did was put some rock texture on here. I put some wet mud around the sides, and that dry cracked mud texture, I just put that kind of after that before the rock, and then I just played around with some opacity. I sort of put a little bit of dead grass around here, and just using this tool here, if you click terrain, I just sort of used different shapes and just made little patchy bits of grass, like using dead grass like that and just clicking. You can hold it down and make more if you want, just so it doesn't look like it went from green grass straight onto the rock. I just want to make it look a little bit different. I'll put some more there. You can put it anywhere you want. So I just play around with that and play around with the opacity. When you're putting textures on top of other textures, like this that I'm doing, you probably want to bring the opacity down a bit so that you don't cover up the whole texture. Alright, so that's what I've been up to. Also, if you have a look over here, we'll go over and have a look. We have a couple of little houses, or more or less like bunkers that I made. Just simple square little shapes that I've put some textures on, and I'll show you how to build one of these now. It's I don't really like modeling in Unity. It's just mainly because texturing is a little bit of a pain, especially on the edges. Well, I find it is anyway, because as I've probably said a few times, I'm not a 3D modeler by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I prefer to model houses and that in Blender and then import them. But anyway, I'll show you how to build something in Unity. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to Game Object, and if you have a look under 3D Objects, you can get cubes, spheres, capsule, cylinder, plane, and quads. And these are basically the things that we can build. We can manipulate them, we can stretch them, we can resize them, do all different things to them, and build objects. So we're just going to build the cube, and I don't know where that went, so we'll double click, and it's seems to be through my terrain. So okie dokie, I'll click on that and I'll bring it up, and I'll just bring that back towards me. This thing up here, this little widget, if you can click on these, and you can move around in 3D space quite easy, like to the sides and things like that, and then click that one for the top. Yeah, so it just makes it a bit easy to navigate around an object. So with this cube, what we're going to do is we need to stretch it out on the blue, so the x-axis, and we can do this by using the scale tool. Like if I pull this, as you can see up here, I've got the cube selected. You can see that it's changed, and you can see the numbers changing when I stretch it out. But for the purposes of building a house like that, we're just going to use even numbers, or as even as possible. And with this cube selected, up here you can see it's called cube. We're just going to call this wall 01, push enter, and now it's wall 01. You can also right click on it and just rename it there if you would like that better. Get off that. Also, in our hierarchy here, you can see I've made an object called building, and I've put my bunker and my house, the other two buildings I made, in there. So what you do is, in hierarchy here, make sure you left click, don't have anything selected like that, so left click in an open spot, so make sure nothing's selected, and then right click and create empty, and we'll call this I'll call mine bunker 02, which didn't work very well, but you can call yours whatever you like. House, bunker, I don't really care. So this is now going to be the parent of this wall. So drag this wall onto the bunker, and now we've got our wall underneath the bunker as its child. So what you'll see how handy this comes in as we move on a little bit anyway. So what we're going to do now is we need to make it higher, obviously. So we're going to go to the y-axis and type in 10 just to make it a bit higher like that. Move this up, so it's sitting on top of the ground. Going to click up here so I get around to this view. We need to make it a bit skinnier. The walls are too fat at the moment, so go to your X and maybe do, oh, I don't know, like 0.5. Excuse me. I think I've got to do that on my last house I built and the walls were really fat anyway. So 0.5, and then with the wall one selected, push Control, hold down Control and push D. Sorry, make sure it's clicked on like that and then do it. Control D to duplicate, and then up here if you click once and then click twice, just backspace to that and change it to 2. So that's wall 2. So now if you grab this arrow here, we can pull it out and now we have 2 walls. Now click on wall 2, Control D, click once, click twice, change it to wall 3. And we need to rotate this around on the Y axis to spin it around, so go to Y, type in 90 degrees and then slide that across. We'll fix this up in a minute. I'm just getting the basic walls built. So back on wall 3, click on that, Control D. You can also duplicate by right clicking and then duplicate there if you want, but Control D is what I use. So click back on wall 3 because we need to change the name of this. Wall 4. Click on your X up here and move that to the end. Click on this one also, and then you can slide that back to the other side like so. Just move these across as well. Right. So with your corners and things like that, you can snap like you do in Blender, but you come up here to edit anyway, and your snap settings are here. I've got mine set to 0.25. It's set to 1 by default. You can change it as small as you want. The smaller you make it is the smaller the increments of the snap. So if I hold down Control and then pull this across, I can get it on that. What you want to do is you kind of want to pull this wall anyway. You really want this wall to be in front of this wall because you don't want to see the faces of the walls, because that is where the texture will look shit, and that's why I don't like using Unity to model. So anyway, I'll leave the rest so you can see what I'm talking about when we texture it anyway. Alright, so now click on this back wall here, will do, and make it blue up here. Control D, and we want to call this roof, and we want to turn this on the Z. Oh, not, yeah, I want to turn it on the Z. Rotate. Make sure you don't scale it on the Z. You want to rotate it on the Z. 90. And then just move this up. So it's just above that wall there. Spin back around to the side so we get a better view. Just slide it somewhere in the middle. Click on the scale tool, or you can click the scale and stretch out this way, or because we done even numbers, I think we done the walls 20. Yeah, we did the walls 20, and now we've spun it over. The Z axis is the Y there, so it's now the Y to sort of stretch it out this way. So we'll change it on the Y to 20, and hopefully it doesn't make a liar out of me. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to be spot on when we move it, just like that. Alright, so now we need to make somewhere where the door can go, so we need to make this a bit smaller. So we'll change this down to maybe 10, slide it across, and then make sure that's blue. Control D. What wall are we up to now? 5 or something? 5, that'll do. 5. and we want to make this one 5. Like so. And then we need to just do this little top bit here. So we'll duplicate this one again. Control D. Change that to 6. Slide it across. This is going to be a huge doorway. It's really big. Alright, so we are going to need to change the Y scale to 5. Now you can do this however you want. As I just said, this is a hugely wide door, and it's going to be. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually quite high too because of our character height, which will probably change later on. Yeah, but you'll see. I don't mind it because I'm going to do these with doors that they're going to slide up or bend out or something, or slide across. They're not going to be like normal doors. Okay, anyway, so that's done. So now we need to make our floor, obviously. So click on the roof, because that's going to be exactly the same size as the floor we need. Control D, duplicate it. Just click the whole thing this time, floor, and get yourself into a good view and just pull it down like so. Probably can make this even skinnier, really. Yeah, we'll change it to like 0.2. Be fine. And just drag it so it's just above the ground, like so. Okay, alright, so now we're going to start the texturing process. So we're going to go onto here. And I've already been getting some textures for the other ones. I didn't want to do them like new kind of modern houses or bunker. I like them to have that old look, like a old bunker, because I'm going to put some trees and things around here and make this ground a bit different, and just have it so they're just like they've been there for a while. Alright, so now we are going to go back there. I might type in old bricks, so I haven't typed that ever before, and see what happens with that. And there you go. So that's pretty cool. This is kind of the things I want. I don't like stuff that looks new unless I'm doing that style of game, but this is going to be old, so we'll try this. Oh, I like that one, but it's not seamless. We could get away with using that. We just wouldn't be able to resize it on the Y, which it'd just have a seam going through it. So that's the only problem. So I won't get it. I'll get this one. Okay, there it is. So grab your texture and just start chucking on your walls like so. Use this up here to make it quicker, and again move over that way a little bit with the pan button, and then chuck that one on too. Okie dokie, so we've got our walls, and the size of them looks quite good actually, so I probably could have used one of the other ones. It wasn't seamless, but that's okay, this looks fine for now. So we need to do the roof. I've got a few textures. You can go back to CG textures and get whatever textures you want. I just don't want to take too long, so I'll just chuck on that one. And then for my floor, I will put maybe this one, like so. Okay, so I want to bring the character over here and have a look around this building for a second. So the easiest way, if you want to move an object to where you're working or something that you're working on, I'll show you. Now that we've got the bunker and it's got all the children, if you double click on the actual bunker like that, you see that? Now click once on the first person controller, go to game object, go to move to view, and boom, it puts our player right here. So if I just grab that on the Z and bring that back a little bit, now when I start the game we don't have to run all the way to the house to check it out. Probably need to lower that maybe. Need to lower the whole house down a little bit maybe. Okay. As you can see, if you look at that seam on the side of the wall there, the texture is all messed up. And this is what I'm talking about. So we've got to sort of play around with this to fix it. Same as there, it just doesn't look right at all. I'm not going to stuff around with too much because I don't want to spend too much time and make the tutorial too long. But I want to make it look half decent before I go at least. Don't want to click on him anymore. So what we're going to do to try to fix this problem is we need to pull this front wall out so that it covers that. Don't just click on that and pull it out because we've got this wall's in 3 separate pieces, so then the walls won't line up. So make sure you hold down shift, get all 3 of them, and then grab it on the X and just slowly pull it out until it covers it. See the difference? There. A little bit more. There. Okay. You can stuff around, but I could stretch this wall out longer too to make sure I cover the complete edge, but I probably should do that. I probably should. I don't want to take too much time, but I will do that. So what we'll do is we will change. No, God, this is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, I think. Hang on, we've got that. Make sure you've got all 3 selected. Otherwise, you're going to have to adjust them all individually. For the sake of this, I'm just going to leave it like that, alright? I'm not going to stuff around with too much. You can see up here, see our roof? You can see that. It looks horrible as well, so remove that. What the hell is going on there? Oh, that needs to be raised up a little bit, doesn't it? Just like that. You've got to play around for a little bit. That's what I was trying to get. Okay. So now I've got this seam here to deal with, so we need to actually grab this wall here and just pull this out a little bit too, not too much, just so we just cover it like that. Okay, that looks better. This one's not so bad. Maybe we just need to pull this one back a little bit. No, need to bring it out. We need to make it a little bit longer. Because we're only dealing with one wall here, we can actually change it up here. So we can do like 20.1 because it was 20 and just adjust it. That will just stretch it out just a tiny bit. We might need to go just a tiny bit more. Maybe try 20.15. I think 20.2 might be the magic number for this one. Ooh, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's right on that corner, but this corner's still a little bit. We'll go 20.22. 20.25. 29. Alright, that looks pretty good. Hang on, let me just check the other corners. Beautiful. As you can see, we're just getting rid of them seams. We need to fix this roof. God damn, what did I do to it? I'm actually just going to scale this in a bit. Move it across a little bit. I was promised myself I wasn't going to take too long doing this, but every time I try building something in Unity, this is what happens. Okay, that'll bloody do. Stop it, Michael. Okay. Right, now we just got to fix one more wall. This corner here. This corner here. As you can see that. Just bring this out a little bit. Just like that. And that'll do. That'll bloody do it for now. So how long? I've been recording for 20 minutes already. Oh my god. Alright, it took me 20 minutes to make this. Just quickly go and have a look. You can never get rid of the ones in here, obviously. We'll put a door there and you won't probably notice them as much. No. It's a little bit flickery. That just means we need to move the wall out a little bit more, alright? Because it's not quite right. Okay, I'll move it about there. Alright, now I just quickly want to show you one more thing, because this video has gone too long again, like the rest of them. I'm going to import whatever this material was. What was it? I'm going blind, I can't see it. That one there. Brick small. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to here, it's easier, and just grab that again and bring in another copy of it. I just want to quickly show you something. Which was the first one? Shit, I don't know. Anyway, it's not going to matter, you'll soon find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the texture, and I'm going to go up here to where it says texture type. I'm going to change it to normal. Now you can make normal maps, probably better making them in like a program like Crazy Bump or something like that. But for our purposes today, we're just going to quickly do one in Unity. The ANISO level when you're working with textures, if I put that up, I think, don't quote me on it, but I think the higher the ANISO level is, the further away you can see the texture, like clearly. So if you put the ANISO level up, like just say I was walking around and I was further away from this house, I'd be able to see the texture in more detail, whereas when the ANISO level's down, it'd be a bit more blurry from further away. Okay, so you can mess with that and put it right up if you want, but I'm not going to do that for this. So I'm just going to turn this into a normal map. It's on grayscale, which is good. It's got bumpiness of 0.25. That'll do. I'll just leave them like that, just for the sake of this exercise. As you can see, I changed the wrong one, but that's fine. So all I need to do now, if I click on a wall of the bunker, say that one there, see the normal map's actually in the albedo now. So all I need to do is grab this one, make sure the main texture's in albedo, and then grab the normal map and put it in normal map. And as you can see now, it made the bricks look like they've got a proper texture. It gives the illusion that they're bumpy. See that? It's probably got too much bumpiness. You can, as I said, you can put that down. Yeah, it's got too much. But if I go back here, put the bumpiness down. So put it down there and go apply. See what that does. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, the bricks do look more realistic now, but not too crazy. And you can adjust that. You can adjust it however you want and get it looking however you want. But yeah, probably make better normal maps in places like Crazy Bump and things, as I said. But I just wanted to show you what a normal map was. So there you go. All right. So what we're going to do now, let's get back here. That's all organized. You should have whatever you called your building with all the pieces as children of it. And to make another folder like this to keep them all in, I'm going to keep all my buildings under building, so make sure you're not selected on anything. Right click, go to create empty, and then just call that buildings or whatever you want to call it, and then drag all the buildings you make into the building folder. But I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. I'll just quickly show you something else as well. Now that you've got this sort of base for a little bunker thing, you can resize it to anything you want. Like if I click on the bunker like that and click this, if I actually hold the middle one in here instead of pulling it just in on the X or Z or Y axis, if I just click on the middle one and hold it and then pull back, I scale the whole thing equally down, and I can also push forward and scale it equally up. So you can make it as big or as small as you want, like that. I'll probably make it a bit smaller, and then just make sure you bring it back down to earth, just like that. And you can also while it's selected, make sure it's blue. I think that's the way to do it, and then Control D, and now you can make as many as you want, and you can make a new one. You can put different textures on it. You can do whatever you want to it, okay? Change the structure of it, things like that. This is just like a very basic square little bunker house, kind of, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. That's not great, but anyway, that's what we did. What we might do in the next tutorial is we might try to make some kind of sliding door or something for this bunker. And we'll do a script for it so the player can go up and open the door, and we'll animate it as well. Okay, so I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching my tutorial, and I'll see you in part 4. Quickly before we go, sorry, go to File and save your scene, guys. And if you ever start up your game, I forgot to mention as well, if you ever start up your game and it's just a blank there, make sure you double click on this here, and this will open up your scene, because that's the scene we're working on. Alright guys, thanks for watching again. Cheers.